Hey folks, Jonathan Phoenix here. Before you guys get into the episode, I want to tell you about an upcoming event at which I am going to be a guest. Atomicon, May 4th and 5th, 2024 at the North Charleston Candlewood Suites, 2177 North Woods Boulevard. Atomicon is celebrating its 10th year as the All Types of Media and Arts convention here in Charleston. There will be sci-fi, fantasy, and paranormal guests, along with a film festival and a cosplay contest. So, I'll see you there. Go to atomicon.org and get your passes now. Let Me Tell You a Story is a product of Carolina Storyteller, starring Jonathan Phoenix, written, produced, and directed by Jonathan Phoenix, edited and recorded by Jonathan Phoenix, and horribly marketed by Jonathan Phoenix. Man, I gotta hire a staff. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/Carolina Storyteller and subscribe to get exclusive content and all kinds of other neat stuff. We even have merchandise coming. Anyway, sit back and enjoy the show. Folks, I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. Let me introduce tonight's guests all the way from Colorado. They're going to be in Denver today, and it is the Metal Maidens. Today I have the honor of having Amy Ash, Lily Kinks, and Brooke Savage with me. Maidens, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great.
That is
Excited
awesome.
to be here.
I'm very excited to have you guys. For those of you who don't know, Metal Maidens has been around since '99, and I'm going to get Amy to tell you a little bit about it. But I've been following the Maidens since the days of MySpace. I have a very good friend who is a Maiden. She's the bassist for the band Midgard. Jen.
She says hi.
I figured she would. I was surprised she didn't join you guys today. But she used to go running around messing with paranormal sites with me here in South Carolina. Now she's out in Colorado partying with the Metal Maidens. Amy, tell me a little bit about how this got started.
I think it goes back even further than 1999. I was just a kid and I hung out with my cousins and my brother who were all into metal music. I was really the only girl out there, and luckily there are a bunch of really good guys. So I was raised well. And, as I grew up, I realized that there were not a lot of other girls like me. And then my cousin Charlie, he started dating a girl who was pretty cool. And my best friend Nikki from high school, we all loved metal, and it sort of evolved out of there. And really just a need for us to all have a place where we felt accepted for who we were and we could express ourselves.
That actually sounds like a lot of the ways good groups actually start out. And you guys have been going now for over 20 years. How many Maidens are in the group now?
The numbers vary with active girls, anywhere between over 100 to as few as 10. But once you're a maiden, you're always a maiden, and girls come in and out of being active. Life takes them in and out of being able to participate. But we all participate in our own way. So I would say collectively across the country, there's roughly 100 of us.
Wow. I knew you guys were growing, but I never knew you guys broke the triple digits. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're hanging right around 100 members. And we're growing every day.
And that's awesome. Now, are you guys only in Colorado? Because I've only heard of you guys in Colorado, and that's basically through what I follow on Resident Rockstar and what I hear from Jen and the website when I see it. But are you guys spread out everywhere else?
Yeah, actually, we have girls in all corners of the country. We have a girl in Arizona. We have girls in Florida. We have girls in Michigan, Oregon. There's people everywhere. And we're about to go into creating a comic book with our friend Barry. So we'll be going on a tour and picking up more girls.
That is awesome. So what are the requirements to become a Metal Maiden?
You can't be an asshole. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I cuss on here?
Yes, you can. It's PG-13, so you're okay with asshole.
Okay. Yeah, we're all okay with that. We're not okay with them in the group.
Save the drama for your mama.
Yeah, basically, you just have to be a good person and want to fit in. Like we are.
Judgment.
Yeah, we try to be really inclusive. So, you know, we try to accept each other for who we are and encourage each other to do that. It's hard to get a group of 100 girls to all like each other. So we try to just preach that, you know, just accept each other for who you are. And if you guys don't get along on some level, just, you know, don't talk to them. You don't have to go have dinner with them.
So everybody must be adults, basically.
Yeah, just no drama. We have a zero drama policy. That includes inside the group and outside the group. If you don't cause any drama in the group, but you cause drama in the scene, then it's probably not the right place for you. But you know, splinters always weed themselves out, and we've had a really good long run with a lot of people that have stuck with us for a long time. Jen has been with us for I think over 16 years now. And maybe she'll be on another episode if we do this again, but you know, some of us have been around since the beginning, and then some of the girls, like these girls here, have just started in the last couple years, or even just like yesterday. We had girls sign up yesterday.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I see you guys are out recruiting and trying to get more girls. So you guys are always looking for new members to the Maidens.
Yeah, always. But like this time of year, we really hit it hard because our calendar is coming up. And we don't want to have the same girls in there every year. The point is to network and cross network with other people, and you don't have to be a Metal Maiden to get in the calendar or the magazine, but just you know, to be part of the club, you have to go through a club process.
Got to go through the club process. So Maidens aren't the only ones in the calendars and the magazine, but you got to be a Maiden to be in the club. Is that what I'm getting right? Okay, cool.
Magazine and the calendar and highlight women in the scene who are doing things. We've had celebrities like
I just lost you for a second. What happened?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was just saying that we've had you know,
Okay, what is happening here? This is what happens when you record live. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know why I keep losing your audio.
It's weird.
Yeah. You were saying you had celebrities like the Butcher.
The Butcher Babies, yeah.
Okay.
We have some celebrities like the Butcher Babies who we've, you know, when people are doing stuff that's out of the norm and, you know, challenging boundaries of what's acceptable in society, we like to go and interview them and highlight them and you know, welcome them to our group with open arms. So we use the magazine and the calendar as a way to highlight people that are making a difference, that kind of fit our brand, and to also recruit. So they sort of find out about us because of the magazine or the calendar contest, and then they find out more about us and decide if they like it or not, and they either join or they, you know, go, but normally they join.
And you guys are really supportive of each other too. I mean, Amy, you stuck through Jen through all kinds of things with what's been going on with her life. I mean, she had to move all the way out to Washington at one point.
Yeah, we went and visited her in Washington and did a photo shoot. That's in the magazine.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, it's not like, you know, like you join. It's like, you know, you have like a sisterhood, a camaraderie there where you could support each other in what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
just a strong knit community that's always there to support in any way, whether it's personally or for the company or group or itself. We're just here however any of the maidens need.
And see, that is something that I think is really awesome, and I wish there was more of that around, because there are people that really they just need support sometimes.
Yeah, and it goes even further than just our club. Like we just support the community in general. That's really where the club came from. Was we were all just, you know, supporting our friends and family who were in bands, and you know, I was taking pictures. I was learning to take pictures, and really getting into it, and.
Okay. Lost audio again. Or I lost audio. Is it my headphones or we're just having that kind of a day? Amy, I've lost you again. Are you there?
We're back.
Okay. Don't know what
Hello?
happened.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
The screen closed, I think. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
We gotta keep our fingers on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if that happens,
I was
it'll.
saying we have I was just saying how the group really formed from us. Like there was a need for people to support one another. We've gone out and changed tires. We've been roadies for bands. Some of us are in bands.
Advertise local businesses and artists.
Supporting and advertising local business and artists and stuff. So our support goes well beyond just our club. But to earn that Metal Maidens title, you have to kind of be above and beyond and not, be an asshole. That's basically.
We can't specify that enough.
Yeah, like it's just like you have to be able to work as a team and accept people for who they are and accept your differences, because in the metal scene you get a barrage of different religions, political views, sexual orientations, you name it.
Sexual
it's
identities.
Out there. Yeah. But so with the club, it's quality over quantity. And then with the magazine and the calendar and just the support for the scene, it really is limitless. We just if people want to be involved, we welcome them to come in with open arms. And we just, we tell them right up front that if you want to be part of the family, you have to pitch in and treat everybody well. And that's pretty much the only rule we have. So we've built everything from nothing. And I think we must have something good going on if it's lasted for, what is this, our 24th year?
24 years, 100 maidens. You've definitely touched plenty of lives. You've reached nationwide. You're all the way. I've known about you for 16 years over on the East Coast.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
You guys are spread out. So I would say you've definitely been successful. That's definitely a thing. Just quick question. I wanted to ask Lily and Brooke, what brought you guys into being with the Metal Maidens? How did you guys get involved?
Well, I was actually at a horror convention, the Colorado Festival of Horrors last year, and the Metal Maidens were helping out Enigma at his booth. And this really, really lovely lady came up to me and was like, "Hey, do you listen to metal?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." She was like, "You should be a Metal Maiden." And I was like, "Absolutely." And I was like, "Tell me what I got to do. Who do I get a hold of?" And me and that person, her name is Hellcat. So hi, Hellcat. Hopefully you end up listening to this. Me, Hellcat, and Amy here just instantly clicked and became friends. And I've been like really involved ever since. I actually ended up getting into the calendar when I was only a maiden for like 2 months.
A prospect for like 2 months. I was actually able to be voted into the calendar and ended up winning second place Metal Maiden of the Year. And I think a lot of that had to do with like passion and involvement and just promoting a positive atmosphere with like my sisters. And that was that would be a year ago. Well, technically this month. We just did Kofoho again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that was Lily, right?
Yes, that's me, Lily Kinks. Yes.
Okay. So that was Lily's story, and that's actually really awesome. That that it just happens and flows like that. That they would just come up to you and go, "Hey, would you be interested in this? Would you like to join us?" Because that just shows how open you guys are. Brooke, do you want to share your story?
I actually met Amy when I was pretty young. 17. Yeah, I was 16, 17 years old. I actually knew Amy's sons and hung out with them, and Amy kind of became almost kind of like a fill-in mom when I was at a rough stage in my life. She was really just there for me even before I joined the Metal Maidens. And she even supported me and my daughter when we were kind of between living situations and has really just been there. And it was in that time when I finally took the step to join Metal Maidens, because I was really struggling with kind of self-confidence and being at a dark place in my life. And Amy just kind of told me that maybe it was a way to draw myself back out and build my confidence, and it's definitely done so over the years. And I've worked really close with her on a lot of the behind the scenes, and being kind of a support in that way as much as I can, even when I don't participate in shoots, and just kind of built my way up even on the background scene with her kind of in that way.
That's actually awesome. And actually hearing you say that brings up something that I want to make sure that my listeners hear, is that this group has done a lot to support some of its members through so much and help them to grow and to become comfortable with themselves. Because if I'm correct, Amy, when you met Jen, she was kind of a lot like Brooke said she was, right?
Yeah, she really liked Abby, which was one of the very first Metal Maidens. Jen was playing bass for Midgard, I believe, and
I remember meeting her at, I think it was either a house party or a practice session or something. Like, she had come over there. I used to work for Madison Amps, and I believe she was buying a bass rig or something from Ron or one of the guys that were at the practice place, and that's how I ran into her. And she joined because she saw Addie's pictures, which inspired her. And Addie was one of the first women that we photographed. She was a bass player for a band called the Mandrake, and the Mandrake, two of the guitar players owned and worked for Madison Amps, which I also worked for and I used as a studio space. So yeah, so like we've been around, we've supported people for a long time. Jen was then no kids. Her and Travis were still newlyweds, I believe. And yeah, like Brooke said, she's been around since before she turned 18. After she turned 18, you know, I told her that she had the option to model with the club if she wanted to, and she really took her time to get you know, comfortable with herself to do that. It was never a pressure situation, or it was just like naturally, do you want to come
into it? But Amy makes a comfortable environment for anybody to ease into it once you get there. Like, as a person who struggles with social anxiety, any and every situation makes me nervous before going. But between all of the maidens and Amy, it's just like constant support and making sure everybody's 1000% comfortable in anything we need to do to provide each other with that support.
Yeah, so like when she was ready, she just sort of started modeling. She lived with me for a time and needed some love, and she started helping out, and eventually she's like, I want to do this. And so you know, just sort of started the modeling part of it. But the modeling isn't all of it. There's so much more to being a metal maiden. Like, we have girls that have maybe only ever done one photo shoot, and but they do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and they go to a lot of shows, and they spread the word, and they aren't assholes, and you know. And then there's a interested in you know, the modeling aspect of it and building a portfolio and getting themselves out there. And so the goal of the group is, from start to finish, when you join, you start with us and you get to know everybody. And, you know, by the time that you've been with the group for a year, you have a beautiful portfolio to get you started in the world of modeling or entertainment, if that's what you're into. But a lot of these girls, I mean, I remember when we first started, back when we were all very young, like, a lot of these girls were struggling. They were single moms. Some of them had problems with substance abuse, and the modeling gave them something else and got them off the streets or out of trouble, or, you know, gave them an outlet as a single mother where they were allowed to bring their kids, because we all have kids. We're all moms, and we're like a big family. Yeah, we're a big family. Like, Paige just had a baby, and she brings Maisie to the photo shoots, and you know, I've even held Maisie while I was taking photos. So
and that was what I wanted to point out, is that you guys,
so we are really inclusive, and we want everybody to understand that it doesn't matter if you don't have any money. Even if you can't pay monthly dues, there's ways you can like contribute, and there's support for you. And it's not a thing about making money at all. It's just about us being supportive to each other, and having a place to express yourself as a female that's interested in things that are really not accepted in society as female things. I grew up a very much tomboy with a lot of boys, and I rode four-wheelers, and I hunted, and I sword fought, and I listened to metal, and you know, we welded, and and Brooke's a butcher, and like, you know, so like we as women were.
I'm a dominatrix and a sex worker. So.
Yeah, we were like told we couldn't do these things, that our sexual identity was like, you know, only for your husband or whatever. And we grew up in a different time, I think, and some of the younger girls have. When I see them join the group and they're like so open about themselves, that makes me really feel good, because we weren't allowed to be open. And I remember being the only girl at a metal show and dudes trying to like sell me drugs and get me to go on the bus. And I'm like, because they thought that I was a groupie and I was like a roadie, you know, like I'm like, no, I'm carrying the amps. Sorry. Like, you know, but that's sort of where the group evolved from. There's much more to it than just modeling and being sexy. I always say that like what we are makes who we are sexy. So if you're a good person, whatever you are, however you present yourself is going to be attractive. And then same with like things that you're into. Like you don't necessarily have to listen to metal 24 hours a day. What you are into is cool because you're into it. You know,
being honest about what, like, just being open about what you genuinely love. Like Amy said herself, the most metal thing you can do is like what you like and not give a crap about what anybody has to say.
That is absolutely nice edit, Brooke.
Yeah.
Awesome edit. That was a good one.
But yeah, it's really about just being yourself and embracing that, and not letting people shave into a closet or
absolutely
to mold that isn't you.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the great things, and I keep repeating this.
Are you there?
Is he there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Please don't tell me we did all that talking and he's not there. Hello?
I can hear you. I'm still here. Can you?
Oh no.
All right, welcome back. Are we back? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So,
okay.
Hopefully you got some of that.
I actually got everything, and then I went to respond, and you couldn't hear me. And so
we
I've
like,
got a lot of bloopers that are going to be in there for a few minutes.
We're funny. That's cool.
So the bloopers were great. Hopefully, because we've got the interview part kind of down. And
do we need to tie anything up there? Or?
No, I think that the and I'll start it off right here. The main thing that I wanted to get across to everybody who's listening is how much you do to build your members up, and it doesn't matter what they look like, how they dress, who they are, if they're, as you said, not an asshole, if they're into the things that you're into, and if they want to be a part of the team, you welcome them with open arms, and then you build them up with this positivity. Even
if you're a loner, you can contribute. You know, from a loner perspective, you don't have to necessarily come to the group events. Some of us are very singular people.
And we do a lot of work privately. It doesn't always have to be a group thing if you don't want to be a huge group.
So it's just really about, wanting to cross promote each other and support each other and have a support team that's a family.
The change that I saw in my high school best friend, once she joined your group, made it evident just how great you guys were.
Well, thank you.
Because she just became more out there, and she became more ongoing, and she's done so much with her life. And I think a lot of that I contribute to the sisterhood that she had with all of you, and that's one of the reasons I've supported and followed for so long, is because I'm like, oh wow, these people are doing great, and that's
we
why
love Jen.
Show.
And she's so come out. You're totally spot on. Like, she totally started coming out of her shell. And that's the biggest thing, is that I have girls all the time tell me how wonderful it is to have other people that they can talk to about their kids having like special needs or having issues or just behavioral issues, or they can call somebody when they go through a breakup. They have somebody if they get a flat tire, they run out of gas, or they need groceries. We all sort of just like take care of each other in that aspect of things. And That's been the main thing. I think when Jen joined and back when Veronica joined, they were some of our first core members, and they were just looking to make friends, So that, I think, is why I keep doing it, is just to see the looks on their faces and see their pictures and how they're there for each other, just getting to witness that.
And honestly, I think that it's awesome, man. I'm really grateful that you did do it. But as much as I want to talk about the Metal Maidens, and we could probably fill a whole hour, I did bring you guys onto the show for one other reason, because a lot of you are interested in the paranormal as well.
Oh yeah, we cover paranormal things in our magazine, and we. If I can climb in an abandoned mental asylum on a road trip, I am down.
Yeah.
That is.
I've broken into abandoned psychiatric hospitals in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're creepy girls all the way.
For sure.
That's great, because I've got a story for the three of you.
Okay.
You may know it, and if you do, please help me share it with the listeners. It is about a little place that's located in, I believe it's called Glenwood Springs, Colorado, which I think is Colorado Springs, but it's listed as Glenwood Springs. Built in 1883, this place has hosted 2 presidents and the legendary unsinkable Molly Brown. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Hotel Colorado.
That's right, the Hotel Colorado. Actually, it's relatively famous for some of the hauntings that have gone in there. Have you guys ever had a chance to visit it? Any of you?
I haven't. Have you guys?
No.
I don't think I've been there. No. It's on my list.
The Francis Marion in Charleston is on my list too, and I've lived in the area for like 40 some odd years, and I still haven't gone to it.
We'll probably have to go up there and check it out after this.
We should just go down there and go together.
So the hotel was built in 1883. The founder was a man named Walter. It has hosted, like I said, 2 presidents, including Theodore Roosevelt. And after the Titanic sunk, the unsinkable Molly Brown even stayed there. But it's known, even though it's famous for its Victorian style and how big it is and how awesome it is, it has more known for the mysterious goings on that happen. There have been incidents recorded in the basement where they've heard the sound of a typewriter in a room where there was nothing in the room, nor was there ever a typewriter supposedly anywhere near the room. They've seen people staring through the windows when there's no way they could have gotten to the windows in the basement. Figures walking by when there's nobody walking by. Now, granted, these ghosts don't really have any name, but it's still, there's so many things happening in the basement, it still makes you wonder what's going on down there. But then when you get to the first floor, that's when you start getting into the named ghosts, like Bobby, who was a World War II nurse. Now, she mainly hangs out in the dining room. And you can tell she's there because you can smell her perfume. It smells like gardenias.
Oh, interesting.
That's neat.
Yeah. And the other one that's down in the lobby and first floor area is, of course, Walter, the founder of the hotel. Apparently, he decided to stay on and check the place out. He's been seen
micromanaging ever since.
I guess he's micromanaging ever since. When you put all that work into a place, you stick around to make sure the place does well. But you can always smell his cigar smoke when he's around.
Oh, that's cool.
And his apparition has been seen in a couple of places. It's very interesting because so many people have had these experiences there where they've seen or heard or smelt something. But one of the most interesting ones happened to a family in 1993. It was a husband and wife staying in room 661. Now, apparently, they had traveled up there in the Colorado air. For those of you that don't know, in Colorado, if you live in the South or if you live out on the West Coast and you go up to Colorado, the air is going to be completely different, and it is going to mess with you badly.
Lack of oxygen.
Oh yeah, it
And
did
if
to me
they
when I
come
first moved
up there, down here, they've got superpowers because they get so much extra oxygen. It's crazy.
We'll drink you out of the table when we come out.
So the husband, of course, not used to the mountain air, fell ill. The wife decided that maybe if she opened up a window, let some air in, that it would make everything better. So she opened the window and she kind of left the room. And immediately after she left, some other woman came right into the room, closed the window and said, "What is wrong with that woman? You're sick. You'll catch your death of cold," and walked out. This proceeded to happen like 4 or 5 times, where the husband was, "Who the hell is this chick?" And did not realize that this chick was, the wife was always like, "Why are you closing the window?" And he's like, "I'm not closing the window. That other chick is." What other chick? Apparently, this is not the only time this woman has been seen in room 661. No one knows who she is, but she seems to be a very caretaker type of person in room 661, just very demanding, motherly, if you will. And so many people have gone now to go to the hotel and try to get room 661 to see if they can have a meeting with the motherly ghost that slams windows and tells you what to do, I guess.
Does she have a name? Does she have a name?
No, she does not have a name. She's just known as the mysterious woman of room 661.
That's a hell of a title, man.
But it's something that this place, there are so many places in South Carolina we get that's haunted, but usually the ghosts aren't that active. This woman has been seen on many occasions, and she will, she's always fussing about something not being right in the room. She'll make the bed or she'll close the window, and it always seems to be that she only appears appears when someone has done something and then left the room.
Interesting.
A whole bunch of people there.
Physically manifesting. That's interesting.
People. But, 4 or 5 times of you opening the window and somebody coming in and closing it, I'd be calling the hotel desk. They actually did, and asked who the maid was, because she was very mad that the maid kept coming in and closing the window because she wanted her husband to get fresh air. But they didn't have anyone up on that floor doing any work during that day. So, no clue who the mysterious woman is. She wears Victorian era clothes. And of course, and that's the Hotel Colorado. While these are the 4 main areas, there are plenty of other ghost stories, suspicious noises, things that they hear there. So if you guys get a chance to go by, I would love to hear about your experiences there, because that would just be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to check it out.
We're definitely going.
Yeah, go stay at the Hotel Colorado and get back to me. We'll do a
I don't know if you.
The Metal Maidens do a paranormal investigation.
Yeah. I mean, we totally can. I think out here it's weird because when you go out east, there are a lot of abandoned asylums and hotels and things that you can sort of meander around in, illegally. I don't recommend people do that, but they're there. Whereas here in Colorado, we reuse our buildings a lot. So it's rare that you have something like that where you can just get in and there's actual physical manifestations. So open out there and blatant.
Yeah, it really, even down here, we have the thing about South Carolina and the East Coast in general is that we've been making ghosts for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the further away from the East Coast you get, the less time you've had making the ghosts. So we've got ghosts that date back to 1500s over here. And we've got some really good ones. We've got Lavanya Fisher, famously hanged for highway robbery, rumored to be the first serial killer in America. Her famous last words were, if you have any messages for the devil, give them to me now, and I will be seeing him shortly. And then she hung herself.
That's super metal. Not the hang yourself part. We don't want to condone that ever, but the rest of it was super metal.
I'm going under the thing that Lavanya was framed. I think John was the murderer, and she just got the blame because they vilified women in the 1800s.
It's
So
true. It's true.
it really easy to vilify the woman. That's my thought on it. But
Yeah.
we will go here or there.
Still pretty metal.
You know, Ghost is seen walking around downtown Charleston all the time in her white dress with her head held up high, you know, all cold, Lavanya Fisher style.
Yeah, we really just have what are our big ones here? So I guess this hotel is a big one. The one downtown Denver, I think it's the Brown Hotel. And then we got the Black Monarch. We love the Black Monarch, and it's been on paranormal investigation shows and whatnot. I've not personally had an experience there, but I know other people who have. And then the Stanley is the most commercial one, which
I didn't choose
we all
the
know
Stanley.
about the Stanley.
I didn't choose the
Thank
Stanley
you.
because it's just over.
It's very.
Everybody knows
we
about
love
Stanley.
the Stanley and all the stories behind it, and the story of how Stephen King was inspired to write the Shining and stuff there. But like, when you live right at the base of the canyon that leads up to the Shining, you sort of get sick of hearing the stories about the Shining and like in the hotel and the Stanley and like, all the weird, because the spirits up there are not. They're not as active as I would say that story about the Hotel Colorado, and they're definitely not mischievous. There's like the owner's wife is supposedly haunts the hotel and stuff. So it's just like,
yes.
It's not, I think that was way more interesting, and that like we can go up there and check it out for you. We got you.
Yeah.
Hotel Colorado, I would love if you did. The Black Monarch was another one I was looking at, but I chose the Hotel Colorado because of its specific locality being right there in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And because that's where I thought you guys all were. And then I found out you're in Denver, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we're all over the place. And honestly, one of our biggest sponsors and biggest contributors is the Black Monarch Hotel. So we can go up there anytime we want. Hey, Adam. Hey, Rachel. We love you. They're amazing. And if you want to do another one of these podcasts, we could totally talk about the Monarch. And yeah, we can.
That'll be the next episode. Is we'll do the Black Monarch.
Yeah, maybe we can get them involved on it.
Yeah, and if they want to sponsor a podcast, looking for sponsors here. But it's running on that time. I promised you guys 30, 45 minutes. We've been almost an hour. I really apologize for that. And again, some editing will get cut out. So don't worry, folks. You're not going to be listening for an hour. You'll be listening for 30, 45 minutes. Just be happy you've got an episode. But again, I want to thank the Metal Maidens for joining me today. Brooke, Lily, Amy, thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys being with me. Do you guys have anything you guys want to promote or tell the listeners?
Yes.
Lily has something on mind.
Please follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Metal Maidens Official. We're on Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. We said, we have our calendar contest coming up soon. We are recruiting, so feel free to check out our website at www.metalmaidens.org. You can fill out an application. You can even
subscribe.
You can subscribe to get all of our latest happenings.
You can sponsor us.
We're also looking for sponsors for our calendar. You can DM us directly.
And you can tell us what other things you want us to go get into, because we like to go on adventures.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. I'm going to have all these links on their guest profile on the webpage, thecarolinastoryteller.com. You guys can go there. You can check out all of the information about the Metal Maidens. Go and follow them on all the social medias. Again, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Listeners, this has been Let Me Tell You a Story. I was joined by the beautiful Metal Maidens. We will see you next week. Remember, go to thecarolinastoryteller.com. Check out all the stuff we have. Get all the information on the Metal Maidens. You can go to the store and buy merch. You can pick up a couple of my books. You can listen to the other episodes. And you can go over and find our Patreon link so you can support this podcast. We'll see you next week. Stay spooky, my friends.
Bye.